You guys want to see a live trade in action, real time on Femex, you'll be able to see win or loss what happens with this CH1. We call it CH1s on our premium side. So I'll run you through that in a little bit. All right, I'm going to take a look at the chat real quick. Is everyone able to type in the chat? Can you guys just put like a W in the chat if you can hear me and you're able to use the chat properly? I'm not seeing anything in chat, Andrew, are you?
Chat for what?
Just the webinar chat in general. I don't see any messages coming through. I don't know if you do.
I just sent a chat to the guys. It says you can only use Q&A. Chat is disabled. Okay, let me see if we can turn that on.
Let's enable the chat. I really would like to have.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you guys be able to write in there and ask. Also, while he's doing that, I just want to run you guys through a little bit how this is going to work. So we want to be able to address your guys' questions. I'm sure that there'll be tons of questions. Okay, I see the W's coming in now. So we're good to go. Ooh, from London. Amazing. Welcome from London, from across the pond. But yeah, so basically the way this is going to work is we're going to do a Q&A section at the end. I don't want to disrupt the presentation and kind of like stuff that we're going to be talking about midway through, because we got, we're probably going to have, 100, 200 people hanging out with us. So save the questions for the end. You can look on the Q&A section, like right at the bottom of the presentation or the bottom of your Zoom, and you can just ask the questions in there and we'll address them at the end. So that's that. In the chat, make sure that you're putting your questions, if they're formal questions and not just like quick questions, throw them in the Q&A section. Otherwise, you can write it in the chat. And yeah, I think we'll be good to go. Assuming a recording will be sent out after. Yeah, this is all going to be recorded, guys, too. So, but it's nothing like getting it in live time. Let's see how this trade is doing, and then we'll kick things off. Amazing. Amazing.
Awesome. Yeah. So, hey, also, since this chat is working, guys, if this is your first time in a meeting with us, why don't you go ahead and throw a little bit of, let's see here. Let's do newbie. Let's do newbie in the chat. Give me a newbie if this is your first time with us. We want to see who's here for the first time with us. Okay. Wow. Love it. Look at that, Craig.
Let's go. Welcome aboard. Yeah, welcome aboard. I'm interested. I wish I could touch base with each one of you guys and figure out how you found out about a Never Trade, what brought you here, what your desires are. But I think the poll should look nice for that. Lex, I appreciate it. This is a new shirt, first time wearing it, so got to make it special for the webinar, right?
Nice.
To get rich. That's everyone's goal, right? We want to get rich. We want to be able to take care of life, and that's what we're going to be getting into today. So let's hop into it. I'm going to share screen, and then we're going to get the presentation going. I just need to be able to share screen, Andrew, if you can.
Okay. You can't share your screen?
I currently am disabled.
All right, try it now.
Okay. Here we go. We are good to go. All right. So welcome aboard, everybody. Appreciate you all for being here. I first want to go over just unpacking what we're going to be talking about and just all of the things that are going to bring us here in general, right? Because we all have our individual lives. We all have what drives us as individuals. But I think generally speaking, when it comes into trading and sort of having that liberty in the freedom in that lifestyle, it's going to come down to a few fundamental things that I think we're all going to be able to agree on. So if you're here, it's most likely that you understand the potential that day trading brings to your life as far as being able to change your income potential, allow for financial location freedom, all of these things that just open up your world and sort of pull you out of that rat race are all things that can be achieved by learning to become a fluent trader. And so I kind of want to pull back the curtains a bit and I know it's confusing sometimes as to like, okay, what actually goes on in the trading world, what actually goes on with the Never Trade. I want to unpack that for you guys today and be able to just unveil it, let you ask questions, see what's going on, and be able to, hopefully spark that next step for you to be able to achieve what we're all here for, right? So another thing is sort of something that I personally experienced in my life too, that definitely drove me to the trading realm, right? So being an entrepreneur definitely comes with its pros and cons for sure, but there is something to be said, and at least this was my opinion in the beginning, that there's a lot more to life than just working 50, 60 hours a week, doing something that you're not passionate about and making, minimal amounts of money to be able to, just scrape along until you turn 65, and then, you're tired and you're withered away, or you're getting there and then you can't really live. You can't really do the things that you want to do, right? We want to front load that. We want to learn these high value skills so that we can get there a lot faster, open up the time frame for ourselves to be able to live the way we want and be able to live life when we should be living it. So that's something personally that drove me, but I think that it probably resonates a lot with you guys as well. So, that's a big driving force as well. And so, another thing, and I touched on this in a previous YouTube video, I talked about getting to $10,000 a month in online income. In the sort of matrix, so to speak, where it's sort of like normal life where everyone just accepts what you're doing, it's very easy to misunderstand how easy it actually is to be able to get to the 1%, right? So following a traditional route, it can be very challenging to get to that 1% level. It seems like an unachievable goal. You have this glass ceiling above your head where it's like, oh man, I have to become a doctor, I have to become a lawyer, or something that's going to take 12 years of schooling or 10 years of schooling just to be able to do that and make money when you're, say, 40, after all the schooling and all the student loans and everything. It's a lot easier to get to the 1% than you might think. And that was something that blew me away. And that's something that I really want to be able to show you guys at the end of today and what we're getting into. So that's why we're here. We're going to learn what goes on with the Never Trade, what is possible with learning all of these skills. And I think it's going to be amazing. I think you're going to be blown away. The next thing that I'm super excited about, and I think that everyone is going to be like, oh my goodness, we have been working. I mean, let me preface it with this. We're always striving to be better, right? That's the motto that we live with in a Never Trade, is like, we're always trying to advance our trading. We want to be better traders next year, next month than we are currently. And so we kind of live by that. We've had a very, very major breakthrough. A lot of it is thanks to Andrew and his diligence with, working with just being open-minded and trying to find different systems that allow us to trade different market structures. But we've tapped into something that is game-changing. Okay, I'm not going to get too much into the details. That's going to be for towards the end of the presentation. But let's just put it this way. We have people on the private side of the trading team that are 3xing their account in like less than 3 weeks, doing what we're about to show you. And so this is brand new. This is cutting edge. This is stuff that we're going to be unveiling and unveiling formally in modules. And we're going to give you guys a sneak peek. By the way, this is something that no one knows on YouTube. Not a lot of people know on Discord, and you guys are getting a sneak peek on this. So pretty cool stuff. We're going to dive into that. And then at the end, since you guys are locking in, you're cutting out time during your day, I know life is busy. We got a special gift for you at the end, just for being able to actually commit and participate and want to take things seriously. So I'm going to make sure that we get that out to you guys at the end, and Lex is going to have a nice treat for you in the comment section. So yeah, that's why we're here. Let's get into it. So we kind of touched on this a little bit, but it's crazy to think about, and it often depends like where you live and everything too. But the average person, I was Googling this, the average person makes $200 a day, at least for the US and mostly in Europe, and they're working 8 to 9 hours per day. Not only are they working 8 to 9 hours per day, but you're sitting in traffic. I remember personally, I had to do this a lot. And like when I was just saving up and I was working jobs, like I would be sitting in rush hour, like, oh my gosh, there has to be so much more to life than doing this, right? And like sitting in a confined area, like these are things that of course is very respectable. It's stuff that we have to do, but like there's there is a way out of this. And like, it's once you realize that, you're like, oh my gosh, like it doesn't have to be the Matrix. It doesn't have to be this, right? But this is the reality for most people. But this is really what launched me into trading. And I want to show you guys, these are P&Ls that we've pulled together from like my personal P&Ls, like these bottom ones are mine. This is from Andreas in our premium side of the community. And we just have, these are single day, single trade profits, right? So if we're talking about making, you know, $4,000 to $5,000 a month, it's like pretty average, actually on the higher end of average for at least the US. We're making $4,100 in a single trade, 12 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, right? So a monthly, I know it sounds crazy to think about, but a month's worth of income for a normal person, you're making in 12 hours while you're sitting on the beach on your laptop. Like it sounds like a pipe dream, but it's like, I'm literally showing it to you. Like it's crazy. And that's the part of trading that I love personally is the freedom that comes along with it. But this is what's possible, learning these high value skills. And so I think that there's a tremendous amount of value in just locking in and learning these things, but here it is right in front of you, right? So now that we've kind of uncovered that, I think it's important for you guys to know a little bit more about us and like who we are actually as people, right? Because we're hosting an event. Maybe you're coming in from YouTube, you're coming in from Discord, right? I want you guys to feel like you actually know, like we're real people. Like this is not some like whatever. It's like we're real. We're just guys. We're normal guys, right? And so I just want to talk a little bit about that. I'll dish it off to you, Andrew. I've been talking for some time now. Just let the people know like who you are, where you came from, how you got into this, and where your life's at now.
Yeah, no, for sure. So welcome everybody. Some of you guys, if you're avid Craig YouTube watcher, if you've seen all his videos, you saw me in a trading competition video. I keep trying to get back into Craig's videos more. So I'm like, let's do another trading competition video. Let's do something. And but you know, otherwise I'm mostly behind the scenes. I work with the premium team, people who invest in their education to learn how to trade the way we trade. And you know, how did I get here? You know, couple slides back, Craig showed you rush hour traffic and a guy in a cube. Well, that was me several years ago. And I had a corporate career. I was actually an executive. I managed over 300 people here in the States where I live. And, you know, I just was so tired of it because like I had hit are there any people on here who are like, you're a winner? Like you just can't stand losing or you can't stand staying the same. Like you just need to progress. Like there are people like that on here. I know you are, right? And that was me. And I had this job, right? And I was climbing the corporate ladder and all of my peers were 20 to 30 years older than I was. You know what that means? That means I climbed the corporate ladder very quickly because like you, I'm a winner. But you know what happened? Something really interesting happened. I helped grow this company and I asked the owners if I could get a revenue share agreement based on the effort of what we're producing. And they straight up told me, absolutely not. Zero, nothing. You're locked into your salary and that is it, which is fine. That's fair. Like Craig said, you sign up for a job, you get a job, right? Well, it's another story when I helped this company grow their profit by over $1 million per month as a result of being a director of operation and doing that. And then them telling me, no, I don't get a piece of it. And so in my mind right then and there, that's where I came from. I said, I'm not going to spend my time building someone else's dream, putting my winner mentality, my growth mindset, my ability to improve and grow into somebody else's lifestyle. And so I quit my job, you know, just like Craig was saying, like, it sounds crazy. Like all my family thought I was nuts. Okay. I mean, this was like, you know, by the way, they thought I was nuts when I quit college too. Funny how I became a corporate director without a college degree. Hilarious. Okay. Then I quit my job and they think like, it's ridiculous. Right. And as you can see, I got a family, right? So it was a stressful thing for me, right? I mean, I had money saved up. I was doing whatever I could to make ends meet. And I actually purchased to get into trading because I knew that there was opportunity here. I purchased a course, not Craig's. Okay, I purchased a different one. It was $2,000. And this thing, I'll get into this later, but basically it didn't give me what I needed. So I went on another one. I bought another one. It was $2,000, right? And what happened was I still didn't get what I needed. Okay. And so I was getting good information, but no application. And so I actually found Craig, just like many of you guys. I watched a YouTube video and I was like, man, this guy, like, I remember talking to my wife, as you can see, that's my beautiful wife, Anya, in the picture. And I remember looking at her and I was watching Craig I go, I believe I could be friends with this guy, and what's so cool is now we've been working together, and I believe we have a pretty cool friendship. And I decided that I wanted, somebody's putting a heart over me right now, which is interesting. I decided I wanted to do this, right? And so I started trading, and I bought Craig's course. In the first month, after learning the things, I was able to make $4,000 that first month trading with what I learned. And that was where I was like, man, okay, this is great. This is what I want to do. Right. And so many people are taught, like, how do you want to, or they're taught, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I know there's people on here. This is the question you're asked. What do you want to do when you grow up? Well, I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a mechanic. I want to be whatever. And the problem is, like, the question should be, how do you want to live? And then reverse engineer all of the things that you need to do to live that life. And that's what's so cool is you look at these two pictures, and Craig is living the life. He's living the life he wants to live. You look at my picture, I'm living the life, right? The life I want to live. My wife, she loves horses. You see, we're at a horse race right here. My 5-year-old son, he's got his hands, he's just a silly little boy. I love it because I'm at home with them all the time. That's what we wanted. I wanted a life to be able to stay at home with my family. I want to roll over instead of roll out of bed. Okay. I want to be able to be there when my little girl dresses up like a princess and she wants to dance with me. I don't want to say, oh, sorry, boss is calling me, you got to go, And so, I'm just a normal guy like you guys. Just, I'm a husband. I've got kids. We have a little 2-month-old baby girl now. And what's so cool is there's a difference between information and skill set. And the main difference, I'll turn it back over to Craig. The main difference between what I learned from Craig and what we were ultimately able to build together, the difference between that and the other courses I paid way more money for, is those courses give you information, but information is not skill set. Okay. You could learn how to build a bike. You can know everything about a bicycle, and you can actually physically build a bicycle. But does that mean you know how to ride it? No. Yeah. You don't know how to ride that bike, even though you know everything about it. And here's a success principle in life. You can know every single thing about a subject and actually not know how to apply it in your life. And that's what happened with those courses I bought. I bought a $2,000 course that taught me everything about stocks, a lot of information. I bought another course that taught me everything about trading, a lot of information. Both those things had zero application. They just told me what a bike was. They didn't actually tell me how to sit on the bike and ride. And what I found out was I got Craig's course, which was way cheaper, and it didn't have a lot of fluff of information because Craig's not trying to bolster his ego about how much he knows. This is why Craig's stuff is always the same, because it works. How do you ride a bike? Sit on the seat, grab the handlebars, start pedaling. Any other questions? And this is the thing. So you go through it and you learn from someone like Craig and what we have here, and you're going to get the how to ride the bike application. And that's where I came from. And that's what we're doing. And, we're going from riding bikes to riding wheelies to doing stunts to doing all these kinds of things. And I tell people in the premium community, and this is the last thing I'll say, we're going to be better a year from now than we are today. Well, here we are today. Where are we going to be a year from now? You're about to see it. So
I can't even imagine. No, but it's so true. Like, I'll never forget your handle. I think when you first came into Discord as a student it was something free. Live free. Like, yeah. And I was just like, this guy, and you started applying yourself so much, and I could just tell you had that fire. And like, it really paid off, and it shows. And yeah, good for you, man. But I think everyone can pull from that. Is like, you really just got to take action and know, if you really apply yourself and you learn the things and you're able to apply them, that's where the magic comes from. It's such a shame morally to be able to know all this information and have all this potential, and you leave it on the table. It's such a shame. It really is. And I think that should be the driving force for everyone. It's like, really look inside yourself and be like, do you look at your potential and apply yourself regardless of what it is in your personal life and whatever. In this, apply yourself. That's what it's all about. I actually forget the next slide, so I'm going to go to the next slide, and then okay, we'll talk about our goals in a second. I'm going to talk a little bit about myself. I'm not going to go too crazy. You guys probably know something about me. I had somewhat of a similar story. So I was going to follow the regular rat race route. Everyone around me was telling me to go to college, got good SAT scores, was going to be an engineer, right? Like what Andrew was talking about. And I joined the military, banged out the military before I went to college, was about to go to college. I had about 8 grand in my account, my bank account from the military. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do to make money while I'm waiting to go to college? Like, I can't just sit here and do nothing. And so I read about simple stuff, stock market. I started out in the stock market, right? And I read about acquisitions. Long story short, I was like, oh, a company's getting bought. That probably means it's going to go up. So without knowing, it was really stupid, I dumped all my money into one stock before an acquisition. And then like I woke up the next day and I was like, wait, what? Why is there so much money here? And over the next 2 days, the position like 3x'd, and I like doubled my account off of 8 grand, and I made $4,000 each individual day. And I remember thinking to myself, like, okay, my salary out of college is going to be what, $7,000-8,000 a month, which is nothing to scoff at. But I'm like, I just did that while I was sleeping and going to the beach. And I was like, no, this is it. And I actually went to college, and I was like, okay, well, whatever, like, you still got to go to college, you got to do it, because everyone was in my ear telling me, this is what you got to do. You have to do this. Don't do this. Don't do what you want. And eventually I took a really bold move in college. I even filmed it and I put it in my YouTube video. I was like, today's February 13th, whatever, I'm leaving university because I know there's so much money to be made out there. I don't need a piece of paper telling me how much I'm worth to a corporation or a company that's going to treat me like a number. There's so many ways to do this. There's so much money out there to be made. You just have to know how to do it. Right. And so that's the magic sauce. That's what we're here to do. And that's honestly what I've boiled down trading to be. Like, trading has the most freedom. You don't need to have any status. The market doesn't care who you are. You can be a homeless person under a bridge with a Binance account. And if you know how to trade, you're going to become a millionaire. They don't care. Oh, he hasn't shaved in 5 months, or he smells like he hasn't showered in a year. Like, no one cares. The market does not care who you are. And I think there's such a beauty in that everyone has an equal opportunity, especially in crypto too, because there's no pattern day trade rule. You can start with a small amount of money. I don't know. It's beautiful. So that's a little bit about myself. I took that risk, and 7 years later, almost, I think 7 years now, I've been day trading. I'm happy to say that I do exactly what I want with my life. I don't live a crazy, flashy life because I want to take care of my family and I want to save money and be responsible. And that's the things that fulfill me in life, is doing things that benefit, is creating value and just taking care of my family. And I think all of us probably feel, or at least should feel, somewhat that way. Definitely like going to Dubai and like going on trips. Like, that's all, it's great. But I'm able to live on my own terms. And that's really what I think we're all here for. So anyways, that's that. So our goals, right? What drives us to do what we do? I think we just basically touched it, Andrew. Like that.
Yeah, absolutely. We did.
Those are our driving forces in our life. Like, we want to provide. We want to be what we need to be to take care of business. That's essentially it. And so I want to tell you guys a funny story. I'm not going to harp on this too much because we just talked about it. But this is oftentimes what holds us back from doing something that's a little bit out of pocket and a little bit, against the grain. But if you want to be special, you can't do what everyone else is doing, because everyone is not special. It's boiled down to that, simply, right? I'm not saying go do stupid stuff. I'm just saying only take advice from people that you would want to be. That's my own slogan that I created, but it's so true. If I had listened to people around me, they were telling me what to do in my life, I would end up just like them. And I remember thinking, I'm like, I have the utmost respect, but I don't want to live like you. Like, if I was you, I would not be happy. So I'm not going to listen to what you're going to tell me to do, because what you are telling me to do is what you got you there. So take that for what you will. But, expectations of college, regular job, security, right? These are all things that you're going to be told. That's what I was told. This is why I almost didn't do what I was going to do. I'll never forget. I dropped out of college. I came home. I had a 2004 Jeep Wrangler packed to the brim with all of my stuff from my dorm room. And I remember I was living in my grandmother's house at the time, in her attic. Like, it was not a good situation. We were not at a good place. And she's like, oh, why are you home so early? And I'm like, yeah, I left college. And she looks at me and she's like, oh, and she says, oh no. And she just starts crying and walks away from me. That's what I faced when I did this. Like, it wasn't like everyone's like, congratulations, go do it. Like, I was facing that type of stuff. So it can be challenging, but now when I go to Thanksgiving meals or I show up to family events, everyone's just like, oh, I heard you're quite the world traveler and like you have quite the thing going on. And I'm like, yeah, see, now no one's saying anything anymore because it's just it's like the Post Malone song. Now they only say congratulations. That's
So true.
you just got to drive through all that peer pressure, right? You can't live on other people's terms. Get to the end of the day, it's you alone with your regrets. I'm also quoting Drake on that. But
Nice.
but yeah, so we know about the call. I'm going to talk a little bit more. This is like my background. Like it didn't start out glamorous, right? I had to grind it out. I was a bartender for a while, right? I was working long shifts, bartending, teaching myself to trade the whole time. I did overnight security on a QRF team for the Space Force. That was like a really bad job. I mean, it was a good job, but it sucked. And then this is me trading on the floor, right? I've been trading for so long. This is me in my dorm room. I had no desk. I was sleeping in my friend's room. Still had my laptops out getting gains, right? So you got to go through the trenches to get there. And it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows the whole time. You can't expect that, right? It's going to be a grind. But like we talked about, there's that point where actually, I don't even think we've talked about this.
No, not yet.
Now, there's a point where you have this epiphany, you have this aha moment, right? And so usually why people fail in trading is because they quit before they even give themselves a chance to have that aha moment, right? You're basically, it's so challenging and it's so discouraging that you're going to be like, oh, screw this. Like, I'm not going to do this. But our goal at Trade is to take that 3-4 year process before you get that aha moment and condense that down into like 3 to 4 months, right? Where you can have that like, wow, it's all starting to click. I understand exactly why 90% of people fail at this and what I need to do to be in that 10%, right? It's a condensing that down. There's all sorts of information on the internet you can pull from. You can do it all yourself if you wanted to, but it's going to take you may not get the right information and you're going to spend years and years losing money, wasting your own time. I've done it. I did that. I'm self-taught. No one taught me anything. I learned everything the hard way. And I'm telling you, that's what you're looking at, right? What we do here is we boil that down, like I said, 3 months, 4 months, where you can have that aha moment where you're like, wow, this is how we get it done. So that's the point where everything changed. And, like I said, that's what allows me to like have the fun things that I'm doing, right? I'm going to Dubai, going on trips, getting brought places, trading the whole time. This is the life that, it's very fun and it's very rewarding. So, and like I said, our results, like we have our core team. We also have our premium trading members, of course, but this is like the core team of guys that, Lex and Andrew were here from the jump, right? Like you guys were here basically from the beginning and you showed your stripes and you became really talented traders that help everyone in the community. And so now I think Lex just bought a house. Wish him congratulations, everyone. He just bought his first house. He's probably, I don't know when he's going to pop the question, but that's probably coming up soon. But he's doing he's living like a really awesome life. And I'm very grateful to see that. And Andrew, like, look at his home setup. He's walking on his treadmill, right? He has the standing treadmill at his desk. But he's able to, spend time with his family and just lock in on what he loves. And it's amazing, and really what I wanted to do is be able to see the world and just, I'm a little kid at heart. I really am. I just want to be able to not think about money. And the way you have to do that is by only thinking about money to get past that threshold. And, those are the results. That's what's bringing us here. So, obviously it's good to see us doing it, right? But it's like, oh, well, is this for me? Is this something that I can do personally? Well, these are just a few screenshots of people on the Discord that have used the things that we're teaching and have been able to start to deploy this themselves and really crush it. So you can see Indigo here. I already got back the money I paid from the course by using what I've learned in just the last week. ROI, return on investment, to infinity, right? One big trade, IT course fee paid for. That's really paid for. $5,000 in one trade. I mean, that's bigger than the profits that I'm typically making on my trades. But, amazing, like really, really good, really awesome. Just really good results overall. So can this work for you? Yes, of course. Not guaranteed, of course. You have to put the work in. It's difficult. This is not an easy job by any means, but it's there for the taking. And so that's what we're doing here at Innovatrade, and that's the potential and the possibility of learning these high value skills. And so yeah, I realized that we never did our poll. So why don't we take a quick second? I want to learn a little bit about you guys here, just to see where we're coming from and see sort of how everyone's thinking. But I love how you have North America or choice 2.
Oh shoot, I didn't finish that. Oh dang it. Sorry guys. Let me see if I can hold on, let me end this thing real quick.
Hold off 1 second, guys.
North America or everyone else. Sorry about that.
It's amazing. We're about to get into the exciting stuff, a little bit more technical elements of things and showcasing some of the potentials here. So stick around. This is not the end. That was the precursor, right? So hang in there. I'm from choice 2. Me too.
Craig, there's a couple of questions in the Q&A if you want to answer this while I do this real quick. Can you say Q&A?
Yeah, I can. Okay, so I got one from, the names seem to be all the same, but I live in Los Angeles and I just subscribed to Premium. I was going to start on Bybit, but the whole KYC thing became an issue. Is Femex all set and ready for me to start trading? Do I need a VPN? What I will say is this. Bybit is not allowing people who don't verify with an ID in a place where you're allowed to trade futures contracts. So you're not going to be able to use Bybit unless you live in a place that's accepted. Femex does not require KYC, meaning that you don't need to put your government ID in there in order to trade futures. That's what I'll leave it at. So take that for what you will. Can I use KuCoin with your course? Question number 2. I personally I don't even know the features on KuCoin anymore. I started off on KuCoin, but there's such, like, for futures trading and stuff, like, it's so much better on Femex. And like for TCL, like, we trade something called a TCL, which requires a very specific order type that we actually had them custom make for us, believe it or not, because I was like, we need to be able to do this. And I reached out to the product development team and I was in meetings and they built it for us, which is awesome. So I would recommend sticking to Bybit if you can, or Femex. Those are my recommendations. I wouldn't use KuCoin. Do you have a payment plan? We do actually have a payment plan. I don't know if maybe Lex can get with Rob, who is one of our team members who helps out with that side of stuff. Maybe you can get with Rob, Lex, and figure out the process for that and maybe get back to them in the chat. That would be awesome. Okay, let's pop these polls. Let's do it.
Poll is live.
Poll is live. I want to see where everyone's coming from. I'm curious to see where our team is.
213 of you guys in here. This is great.
Yeah, 215 now. That's awesome. I can't vote in the poll, I don't think. Analysts cannot vote. Oh yeah.
We've got 29% of you, 30% of you guys have finished this poll. Let's go. Let's hit that poll.
Everyone hit the poll.
You guys are from.
Everyone hit the poll. That could be misconstrued.
So funny. 33%. If you guys don't know, there should be a poll somewhere on your screen. Just answer the question. We can't see who answered what. It's anonymous. So. Oh, you guys are putting in the chat too. Okay.
It's like not what we want.
We want to see the poll.
All right. While you do it, everyone, please finish up the poll. Just do it. Just do it.
People are like
Shia LaBeouf meme. Just do it.
Exactly.
Right. I got a question on the Q&A. Oh wow, we got 17. I'm not going to get to all these right away. I'm going to hit some of them at the end, but I'm going to answer this long one. I've been part of a group of programs before. We're all the wait, sorry, I can't read this for some reason. Basically, all the posts, the trade alerts were replicated in the group, got so big that when we initiated trades, it moved the markets and the market makers caught on to our activity and started countering our trades to stuff. How big is this group and how long-term do you see? Do you have any concerns? My answer to that is this. So the way perpetual future contracts work, you're not actually engaging with the spot market until there's a clearing time, which is the next day. So basically I can buy Bitcoin and like there has to be orders on the opposite side for me to be able to exchange hands, but it's not gonna, my order's not gonna move the market. So I could buy like theoretically as much Bitcoin as I wanted, as long as I could get into the trade and the market, the exchange allowed me to, it wouldn't move the price at all. So I'm not worried about manipulation and market makers figuring that out. If it becomes a problem, the cool part is that we can just diversify into different pairs. And I think as crypto gets bigger too, the liquidity is going to get bigger. We can shift around to different places and the pairs will have so much volume, it's not going to matter. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about it. All right. Ooh, okay. I'm going to take one more because he's a fellow Canadian. I live in Ontario, which is where my mom's from. Shout out Ontario. And am I allowed to register in Femex? I tried, but it did not allow me. So I'm not sure the restrictions on Canada. Lex lives in Canada still, so maybe Lex can chime in on the whole Femex registration thing. But like I said to you guys, we have Surfshark in the Discord. So if you use Surfshark, I'm not saying to do this. I'm just saying the only thing exchanges are going to look for is where your IP address is. And that's going to make it so that they restrict or don't, right? So if you're having issues with it, then change your, if you have a different VPN IP address or an IP address with via a VPN, then they can't do that, right? So yeah.
Cool.
All right. Do we have the poll results?
We kind of bottomed, or we kind of stalled out here. I think some people got confused. They put where they're at in the chat and stuff. But okay. Let me end the poll, share the results.
Nice. All right. So we got 31% North America. Shout out North America.
Let's go.
South America, 3%. I actually thought that would be higher. Honestly, Europe, 40%. Europeans are beating us out right now. Can't believe that. Shout out Europe. Africa, 3%. Reps up. Asia, 20%. Very cool. Australia, once again, expecting a lot more. We have a lot of Australians in our trading community.
We do. Yep.
Yeah. Love the Aussies. Love you guys. 3%. Amazing. And then let's see, what excites you guys most about trading? No boss, 42%. Income potential, 78%. Yeah, income potential is the best part. But the time freedom, I mean, really time is money and you can't buy back time. Like time, once it's gone, it's gone. Like money comes and goes, right? But the time is like, so I would honestly say time is probably the biggest one, right? But 64%, yeah. It's all about time, guys. You gotta live life. You gotta get this money problem out of the way so you can live and do what you want, right?
That's right.
Don't want to make other people rich. So yeah, amazing. What do you say we dive into some of the new stuff, Andrew? Some of the TCL. Yeah. You want to get into some of that?
Oh yeah, these people, they want to see it.
Of course they do.
For sure. TCL. All right, so let me share the screen here. We'll dive into some stuff. All right. So obviously you guys are here. You're familiar with Craig, sells, we have a course and all this kind of stuff. And, but here's the thing. We've got a revolutionary beginner trader accelerator. Okay. It's a lot of big words, but at the end of the day, like I said, we're going to help you ride your bike. Right. And we're working on something crazy in addition to what's already amazing. We already have people getting amazing results, people very satisfied. One of the things that Craig and I talk about is like, we're not very good at highlighting student successes because we're not really like about hyping people up, right? There's a lot of like communities out there and trading things out there where they just want to hype you up, post screenshots of multiple hundreds of percent gains or 1,000% gain with high leverage. And they don't really like have transparent or sound teaching. They just like hype you up and all that kind of stuff. But we got people making money in our community. We got people very satisfied. People doing really well, and we don't really talk about it that much. But we are going to talk about how we are leveling up what we already have. And so here's the foundation of what we've built already. Okay, so the foundation of what we already have is multiple proven strategies for all the different types of market conditions. Okay, so if you're new to trading or you're still just learning about it, there's a difference between a trending market and a ranging market. And there's different market conditions where some strategies might work better in one condition, and then they don't work well in a different condition. And so when we say that our goal is to always be enhancing and to be better a year from now than we are today, what that means is we want to make sure that us and our community are equipped to trade in whatever the conditions are. And this is what continues to cause us to forge into new ground and build new things. And so in the trending market, we have a TCL strategy and the 3-5A strategy that, you could trade on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15-minute candles. And then in the ranging market, the ranging price action, we have the 3-5A strategy does really well there as well. And the CH1, and you could trade those on the 15-minute, the 30-minute, or the 1 hour candle, some more of those swing trades. And what's so awesome is, when you go through the course, you learn all of these. All of these strategies are taught. And what I tell people is, pick one and get really good at it, and then go to the next one. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I want to say is, like, not only just proven strategies, but if I could add another slide to this, I would say also a mindset, because, we teach people that there's strategy, there's risk and money management, there's mindset, and there's growth. And you need those 4 pillars all to work together, because what good is a good strategy if you have a terrible mindset? What good is a successful strategy if you don't risk properly? You don't manage your risk properly, right? So we do all these things together so that you can stay in the game and be successful as a trader, okay? But let's talk about the good stuff. The next level. What have we done? I'm going backwards. You guys saw, what have we done? Okay. What have we done? We took the TCL. If you don't know this already, let me do this. Let me go to Discord. This is dangerous. Let me go to Discord. I'm going ad lib now. I'm getting crazy.
Get crazy. Let loose.
Crazy. What's that?
Let loose.
I'm letting loose, baby. Look at this. Look at this. These are TCLs we alert. Okay. If you don't know, this thing has like 95% win rate. Win. Like I think there's like 3 losses in all of this. Okay. And you guys can see this. This is in the Discord. Okay. This is a TCL. If you don't already know, okay, it's got calculator, infrastructure, this whole deal. Many of you guys are familiar with this. Now, here's the thing. What did we do to this? You're about to find out. This is what we did. We enhanced the TCL trade strategy, okay, with these five bullet points, okay? Number 1, we've created self-determined risk factor. Okay, so for those of you guys who are copy trader and taking signal trades or trying to take trades with us, the TCL used to have a locked risk factor between 8% and 15% of your account size. We've now been able to revamp the math and the calculations and the tools and the indicators so that you can self-determine what amount you want to risk on the TCL strategy, whether that's 5% or 50% of your trade account. Well, why would you want to risk 50% of your trade account? We'll get to that, right? You might not want to, but the point is you can risk what you want to risk. And we've created more opportunity for trades because the TCLs, the way they were locked into a certain range of price. Price had to trend a certain distance for the optimum TCL trade to take place. Well, now you could trade almost any price range as long as it's fitting the criteria of the strategy, which gives you more opportunity for trades, you guys, okay? We've simplified the position sizing. You actually need even less orders, less calculations, and yet you can make more money because we've increased the earning potential by up to 5 times more money while still maintaining a 90% win rate, baby. Let's go.
Unbelievable.
Let's go. Did we do that? Yes, we did. How did we do that? No sleep. That's how we do that. Honestly, like, but here's the thing, like, Craig, I remember we were talking about this when the TCL came out. Craig told me, he goes, man, I'm excited to see when we can figure out what is the maximum, what's the threshold of risk that will give us the most earnings. And then Craig said, I'm excited to see when we can figure out how to self-determine our risk factor. Remember these conversations a couple months ago, Craig?
Yeah, of course.
You challenged me. He's like, we got to get this figured out.
I was like, there's no reason why the market should be telling us where our stop loss goes. That's the last thing that you really want. You really want to be able to say where you want your risk to go. And yeah, you were like, all right, bet, that's a challenge. Let's go. And so you just locked in, and then you're like, oh, also, by the way, we can move the stop loss where we want. We can double our account in a week of trading, and it's easier. And we can move I'm like, all right, like, let's go. And then we actually started testing it with people on the inside of the premium. Like a lot of the premium private members, like, we're not trading this yet. This is very held back. This is stuff that we're going to be unveiling, right? But we take pride in making sure that it's like really, really locked in as far as the practicality and the implementation on the market side. Theory is one thing, execution is a different thing. But we have been trading this with some of the close people on the private side. And I mean, I don't know the exact stats. I think Andrew has a better idea of that, but
yeah, I mean, the story behind it is, we figured out Craig's mastermind is, hey, this is what we need. The strategy is already awesome, but this is what we need it to be even better. So then I went to work, got it done, and then went into testing, back trading, back testing, bar replay. And I personally won 35 out of 37 trades and had ridiculous growth in my account. And so I was like, okay, cool. Then we worked on infrastructure to be able to do it and to teach it. And then we taught the moderators. So the moderators are currently trading this live with real money. They've been trained, they're trading it. And, Josh was able to double his account in 7 days. Now he had some losses since then, but he doubled his account in 7 days. We got I'm Fancy Joe over. These screenshots are from today, you guys. I just asked them before the meeting. I said, hey, Joe, any stats? Anton, what are your stats currently? So these are as of like an hour ago. Okay. You see, I'm Fancy Joe says 150% of his original account. I got to question his math there because the math actually shows he's like 2.3x his original.
I know.
Okay. So
like, Joe, riddle us, Joe. What is going on?
Yeah, we're not sure what he's saying. He's actually got 2 point. If you look at it, he had like 800 and then he went down, then he added 500. So he has 1,300 in, and then now he's got 3,000. So he's actually over doubled his account, which is fantastic. There's his trade log. And then Anton right here, he's again maintaining that 90+% win rate. He's won 39 trades out of 42 trades, and he has almost 3x'd his base account in 18 days.
Yeah.
Not theory, not hyperbole, not simulation, live trades, real funds, real money.
Let me say this too. I remember when I first started trading TCLs, I was like, all right, this is really consistent. I'm just going to trade this. I put 50 grand into an account on Bybit and I traded it. And I think over the course of a week, it was like very casually trading. It was like $900. But now with the new system, 5xing that, I mean, that's like $5,000 a week. I'm not saying that everyone should be putting that much money, but I'm saying like if you work towards that, like say for the next 5 years, and you're able to get to the point where you're just consistently, very casually trading this routine system, and you're able to churn out $5,000 a week, this is life-changing stuff.
It absolutely can be. And I want to take a moment and say too, again, I prefaced, we are not the ones to try to hype you up. Okay. But this is just math. And now it's a theory, it's a strategy, it's back tested, and now it's live traded. The results are there, but I want to say this too. We cannot guarantee you anything. We can't guarantee you're gonna have the same results. We can't guarantee you're gonna have the same experience. We can't guarantee squat, but we could teach you what we've taught these guys. The opportunity is there. That's the key, right? And what's so cool is we see these kinds of things happening, and we've got amazing infrastructure coming out for it here. I mean, I just love my beautiful chart right here, this beautiful white chart. I went from the black chart to the white chart. I love it. But check this out, you guys. We have got so many cool resources coming out to help us trade this, like this TCL helper indicator that allows us to see when and where and how we want to trade. And then we've got the new TCL calculator indicator right here, which is phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. Watch this. Let me show you guys. Show you how simple this is. Because obviously, if something's so successful and so complicated to trade, it must be hard to trade, right? Nope. 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 Sorry, I'm trying to add this to my chart here. Sorry, guys. Add to chart. Watch this. This is still has not been published. That's why I have to add it to my chart this way. I click my entry. I'm going to click my take profit. I'm going to put in my limits here, put in my stop here. Short, put in my account size, put in my leverage, my risk, boom, 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 bam. There's my orders, there's my potential profit, there's my account gain. Just take this and put this into your trade exchange.
Wow.
Come on. Craig, have you ever seen anything like this, Craig? What do you think about this?
I know. I never even thought about trading this way. to be honest. Like, it's not like I didn't think about it, but I was like, I don't know, like it's, and you guys have just been locked in, and I never would have expected it, but it's so insane to see where it's leading. And I'm thrilled to see where it's going to be in a year, and the change, the lives are going to be changed. It's going to be sick.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. And we're excited. And this is the movie trailer, you guys. I mean, the course is already amazing. All the foundation of the strategies are there, like we talked about. The TCL is already here. We're starting to trade this and train this with people. We're going to be launching this. And we just wanted to do this is our first ever live webinar. We've never done this before. We've never done a live webinar. I think we're streaming this to YouTube, or we want this to be a big deal. And for that, I know Craig wanted to do something special for you guys. I'll turn it back over to you, Craig.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So like, obviously you guys spent the time to lock in here with us. And so, we wanted to unveil some of the stuff we're going to be working on over the summer, next couple of months. But, for the next 2 days, if you want to get involved, Lex is going to drop the link in the chat. This is only going to be for you guys for being here and locking in. Just use code live100 at the checkout, and you're going to be able to save $100 if you want to get your journey started, because you spent the time here with us, and you're dedicated in. So this is what we wanted to give to you guys. And yeah, like I said, or like Andrew said, this is our first live event, and I think we're probably going to be doing more like these. I'm sure we're going to do more where it's involved on the technical side, on the psychological side of trading, really diving into different elements of what makes us unique and things that are going to help you along your path. But this is something that we wanted to give to you guys. So yeah, I'm just I'm grateful that, all you guys showed up, and that you're here and you're interested. And I'm very humbled at what we've accidentally created here. I would have never dreamed that the Discord and the community would be filled with such great people, all trying to work together towards something that we're all so passionate about. So yeah, just from the bottom of my heart, like, just very, very humbled and very blessed that we're doing this. And I'm so excited. So I hope you guys are too, and
Absolutely.
I hope that you see the value. But what
I want some more questions here, Craig, if we want to just finish up with those real quick.
For sure, of course. Let me share my screen here.
Okay.
I want to showcase the Q&A stuff. Actually, sure. All right. So, you guys can see this. This is one of the trades. I'm actually gonna get rid of that. This is one of the trades that we just took. It's moving nicely. So, anyways, let's go over some questions. I don't think I answered that one. This is what I was talking about too. Rob, no last name. I'm not really sure what happened there. But anyways, the AVAX signal you posted, I got in and risked $10, but Bybit cut the $20. Can you guide me through why? You want to use the liquidation calculator. We have that in a mentoring, where I think in one of the YouTube videos, my recent one, how to become a day trader in 30 days, I go over the liquidation calculator. You need to make sure that you're doing that and calculating your liquidation levels, or else that will happen to you. So I encourage you to watch that video. Okay, we got another question. A 35A setup. 35A is a system that we trade here on the premium side, guys. Up at different pairs, but once Bitcoin moved in any direction, all the trades wiped out. How do I avoid this? Okay, so oftentimes, this is a really cool question. Most of the time, all the trading pairs in the crypto market are actually going to move somewhat in tandem, right? We don't have individual applications and actual utility on most of these coins. So when Bitcoin moves, it's going to be because of, the Federal Reserve or the economic news. The geopolitics is going to drive risk on, risk off, interest rates, all things that move crypto. Residually, different pairs are going to move at the same time. So that's why we encourage people to not find the same setups. Like, don't find 5 charts that look basically the same. Take all the trades, because you're basically 5xing the risk that you're putting on one trade idea, because the market does move in tandem right now. So pick the best one based on a technical analysis standpoint and a strength of the market standpoint, depending on which direction you want it to go, and then execute one trade so that it's only one idea. If it goes bust, we can't control that. And so, yeah, we actually did have a trade alert on, what was it on? AGL, something like that, where unfortunately I called it off at the last second and then it tanked and it went full profit. You guys can, I'll show you in the Discord. It's actually really funny. It's not funny, it sucks, because it would have been like $3,500 in profit for me, and said it was nothing. But I'll show you guys real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone put it was IOTX.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Right,
what it was.
yeah.
Yeah, that was yesterday's trade. And you know, one of my friends was like, you should just leave it on. Like, I feel like you always take it off and you're so impatient. And I was like, and yeah, it turned out they were right. So shout outs there. But let's see what we got here.
We got a question in the chat. Is the discount code for just people who are premium members of InevitTrade, or is it for everyone? It's for everyone, you guys.
Yeah, it's for everyone.
This call can participate in that discount code and get access to the course and all the things we do in there.
Yeah, so you guys can see ahead of time, we had this pattern set up nicely. Wanted to take a nice short in here. And we alerted that out, and it just chopped around so much that I was like, okay, I think it's invalidated. And I was like, okay, cancel the order. And then next thing happens, it reacts perfectly off of that level and then drops like a rock to full profit, right? 3x. So if you're risking, like what we try to do here is we try to risk, or we don't try, we risk a uniform amount so that even if we're wrong, like 60-70% of the time, you're coming out on top still. That's how risk reward works, right? So if I'm making 3x what I'm risking on the trade, if I'm right, and I'm right half the time, then you're still really, really profitable. That's a misconception a lot about trading. They're like, oh, well, how can you be wrong and be profitable? It's nothing to do with that at all. But price came up here, came down, filled us perfectly. It would have been really beautiful. So that's just one of the woes of the trading world, right? But yeah, anyways, I'm still sharing my screen, right? Or no?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, okay. I thought I was just rambling randomly. Question here. Can you trade without leverage? Yes, you can, but you need deep pockets. So I'm not going to do that. In a lot of the positions I take require $140,000 worth of capital just to get in, just to risk like $1,000, right? So I'm not risking 140K. I'm risking $1,000, but in order to facilitate that trade, you need a large amount of capital, right? So that's why leverage is actually important. Leverage has nothing to do with the risk implication at all if you know how to do it properly. A lot of people don't understand leverage. So they're like, oh, you're taking more leverage, you can lose a lot more money. It's like, no, that's actually not true at all. Like if you use stop losses, it's basically the same exact amount of risk, but you're using way less of your own money. That's the only thing that leverage does. Can you trade without it? Yes, but you need deeper pockets. So leverage is completely safe and healthy to use. Okay. I'm a beginner trader trying out the TCL trades. I only got one loss in 8 trades. Wow. Shout out to you. See, this is what happens. This is the thing. Here's my question. On the loss, I had the stop loss only on the 5th limit order. I was stopped out, but only on the 5th. I had to close the rest manually. How can this be? I trade on MEXC. That's because you're trading on MEXC. Don't trade on MEXC. You can't trade TCLs on exchanges that don't have the custom code to be able to do it, right? Bybit does. Bybit's dope, but the restrictions. We hit up Femex. We had them build out custom stuff for us. That's why Femex is goated, and that's why we use Femex. So, anyways, don't use MEXC for TCLs. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm 14 years old and I'm learning stock trading. However, I faced obstacles in the market, obstacles that the market timing clash with my school timing, and my parents don't let me quit. Yeah, well, you're 14, my man. So stay in school, right? That's a good thing. What I would recommend to you, and this is what we always talk about in the stock market, okay, it's from 9:30 to 4, right? So you're gonna be in school, right? What the good part about this is something called bar replay. So if you need to talk to your parents about this, you should. But on TradingView, you have a TradingView, whatever pair you're trading or stock you're trading. If you have an upgraded version, I think it's like $10 or $15 a month. You can click this button right here, drag back to any time in the past, click, and now you can just set up patterns and practice your trading in real time. So if I set up a pattern, right, and I'm like, okay, I think the market's going to go up, you can execute with buy or sell right here, and then you can play this forward and this is going to move like in complete random nature. You haven't memorized it, you don't know. And this is a way that you can really know where you stand with the markets. So what I would recommend for you, you're young. I'm excited for you. Okay. Practice with this. Practice your trading. There's nothing wrong with learning. You just can't trade until you're 18, right? Or, I'm never going to encourage you to trade before you're 18. But nothing wrong with learning, right? You come out of the game at 18 and you know all this stuff. You're going to be, wow, you're going to be like 20 years old millionaire. So keep it up. I'm excited for you. Okay. Let's get into the next one. I wish I started at 14. That'd be insane. All right. How much time does it take to learn the TCL strategy? I would argue to get good at it takes some time, but to learn it, you could probably learn it in a couple of days realistically. I don't know what Andrew thinks about that.
All the complicated stuff about the strategy is in the programming and the calculations. We usually teach people how to do the strategy in 10 minutes. Now, getting good at it is another thing. Remember, there's a difference between, sit on the bike, grab the handlebars, start pedaling. Doesn't take long to teach you that. Getting good at it, building the skill set, riding your bike, falling down, getting back up, riding your bike, falling down, getting back up. That's going to take a different amount of time for every person. Yeah. And that's where bar replay comes into play, because you can go through that practice quickly, much faster.
Oh yeah. 100%. 100%. You think Binance is okay out of the US? I think Binance is really, really in treacherous waters. So I would not be relying on Binance. We don't know anymore, guys. We really don't. Just what I personally do is I keep enough money on my Femex exchange to be able to leverage trade, and the rest of my money sits in Coinbase and or offline, like in a hardware wallet. No one knows where it is. No one can access anything. Just do that. That's the only way you're safe, guys. Can you use this system on Forex? I have not attempted it, but I've heard that you can. So try that out. Let me know. Okay. Wait, why did that one disappear?
I'm hammering some of them on chat, Craig. So there's so many.
Okay, cool. I'm going to do a speed round on these now.
Yeah.
If in the US, what exchange? Femex or Bybit? You can't. Femex, you can. You need a VPN. Here's the QMA. What are your thoughts on Bittrex? I've tried it. The UI sucks, in my opinion. How many private members with the NevaTrade? I believe actively, most of the time it's about 400, but there's a couple thousand people trading, at least learning with us. I'm in the premium and NevaTrade community, and I'm just saying that I love it. Just a problem is that 1,000 euros in my bank account. I live alone and work 12-hour days and can't even pay basic costs of living, but I'm paying for the premium Discord monthly, and I'm struggling to have a beginner account. Any tips to get out of that? The good thing about crypto trading is you could start really small. So it's all about building a small process. And then when you're comfortable with the results of that, you add to it and you scale that amount, right? So regardless of your financial situation, you have to just start with a small process, and you have to try to get there. That's all I can say. It's tough. I know. I get it. Do you think someone can learn to trade it just as well from someone who's buying premium just by watching your free videos? Absolutely not. Obviously. Did Femex set up auto close feature so that we don't need to manually close out the rest of the levels? Unfortunately, no, not yet. We're working on that. Actually, my main question, theoretically, what is the location with the least restrictions on trading? I have no idea. Anywhere where it's allowed is going to be the same thing. With US regulations, what do you see from the US becoming an issue? I see decentralized alternatives becoming more relevant and better. And I think that that's going to be our solution. So, okay. What other trading view brokers offer multiple limits? Bybit and Femex. That is it. What time is the mentoring session? What day? It's always on Mondays, and it alternates between 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Seems like there's trouble with Bitcoin in the state on NY, New York. Seems like there's trouble with Bitcoin in the state of New York. I don't know. The state of New York does not support Bitcoin. How does this work? I actually did not know about this, guys, so I don't know. Okay, I don't think I can get to all of these. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot. What I'll do is I'll hang out after. I don't know if I can hang out after and type out the answers. I just don't want to.
I think we might be able to get a transcript of this, and
Okay.
And we could shoot it out in some kind of document.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
type up the answers, shoot it out,
Like that.
which is pretty sweet. A lot of
Yeah.
people probably won't do that, but I like that idea. So guys, if we can get a transcript of this at the end, which I think we can, we'll get to all the rest of the questions. I did see a couple, just real quick, how long does it take to trade in the day? We usually spend 30 minutes to an hour a day looking at the chart. If you don't see your trade, get off the chart.
Yeah.
What about people in different time zones? We have people all over the world, as you know. So people in their time zones, they band together and help each other in the Discord in their time zone, which is really cool to see. And so yeah, there's just a bunch. We'll get to the rest of them, but I just wanted to bring that up to you guys. So but Craig, man, thank you for this. This is great. Our first live webinar in the books.
Amazing. I really love it. Once again, guys, we're giving you 2 days. I didn't want to make it like a high pressure situation, but I also want it to be just for you guys participating in here. So if you want to get after it and this is something that you want to take seriously, make sure you're taking advantage of that while it's around. So
yeah. And again, that link, can we get that link one more time so people don't have to scroll all the way up to the top? Somebody throw that in the webinar chat real quick. There you go. Let's just put it in there.
It looks like a Bybit or no Bitly.
Is that the link to the course there, Lex, with the special offer?
Yeah, the code, there's a code. And it's
live 100.
Yep. Yeah,
all
so
right, guys, there it is.
Stay tuned. This is, there's stuff that's going to be going on that you're not going to want to miss. So onward and upward. We want to be the best and most trusted trading community in crypto. And I think that if we're not there, we're on our way.
We are. And I keep seeing this question come up. The new TCL strat is built. It will be released pending these traders in our community who are already trading. It's pending their success. They're already having success. We want them to continue. We want to see that success continue through the month. And as we see that, we'll be releasing it out to everybody. We just want to make sure, again, that we stay the best and most trusted community and that we roll it out with them first. So hopefully by the end of the month is my goal. And but you don't let that deter you. Buy the course, save the $100, because when you learn the TCL the way it is currently, it's just one little change over to the new one and you're making more money. So it's awesome. Yeah,
100%. Stay tuned, guys. I hope to see you aboard. We got a great family going on. So I appreciate you guys putting the time out once again. And let us know how you like it in the Discord general chat, and I'll hang out in there for a little bit after this. So much love. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Lex, for helping out. Thank you, everybody. And like I said, I'm just very humbled and I just love what we're doing. So let's keep it going.